Hi kids, how are you? I hope you enjoyed the last session and now we are going to do another interesting chapter, that is number 12, Amazing Birds. Let's revise. Find a nest nearby your house. Observe it carefully. Do not go too near the nest or touch it. The bird will abandon the nest otherwise. Note down the following things. Here are some questions. Where is the nest located? To which bird does it belong to? Which materials are used to build the nest? Are there any eggs in it? How many eggs are there? Are there any chicks in the nest? What do you think the mother brings birds to feed the chicks? After how many days do the chicks leave the nest? You have to answer all these questions carefully. Now it's time to begin. Let's begin. Birds live in nests. They build their nest in all kind of places. Birds build nests to lay eggs and to keep the baby birds safe after they are hatched. Nests have to be kept safe from enemies too. Some nests are hidden in high grasses to hide them from the predators. Birds also build nests with materials that help in blending them with the surroundings. Let's see the materials used for making nests. Birds use different materials like twigs, dead leaves, thread, grasses, hair, feathers, straw, and cotton to build their nest. Nesting material helps to cushion the eggs from sudden jerks and parents' birds' weight. It also provides insulation against changes in temperature. Nesting material is chosen by the birds to hide the nest from enemies. Here you can see a nest. Now, let's do the activity. Collect different materials like small twigs, broomsticks, paper, etc. Make a nest with them. Make a small paper bird and eggs and keep them in the nest. Display it in your room. Here you can see a nest is made by the students. Now, next topic is different kinds of nest. Different birds build different kinds of nest. Size of the nest depend on the size of the bird and also on the number of eggs it lays. Design of nest of different birds is also different. Let us look at some of them. Here you can see crows and sparrows build their nests in holes of buildings, roofs and even street light. The materials used for nests are dried vegetation, feathers, paper and twigs. The nest is shaped like a cup. Here you can see the nest of sparrow or crow. Next is a sunbird builds nests in and around our homes. The nests are long hanging structures made of leaves, feathers, grass and bark. They are woven together with spider webs. Here is a sunbird's nest. Next is weaver's bird builds beautiful nests. The nests are cylindrical in shape with narrow downward facing entrance. The nests are built by weaving strands of grass or strips of leaves. The male weaver bird builds the nest and the female bird chooses the best looking nest to lay eggs. Here is the picture of nest. A tailor bird builds its nest by stitching large leaves. It uses its beak like a needle to sew leaves with materials like thread or wool. The nest is lined with cotton, dry grass or hair. A woodpecker makes nest by digging cavities in tree's trunk. It has a sharp beak which helps it to dig cavities. You can see a woodpecker digging in tree's trunk. Next is a quail does not build its own nest. It lays its eggs in the nest of other birds like a crow. Next is hatching the eggs. After laying the eggs in the nest, the mother bird sits on the eggs for a few days. This is called hatching of eggs. It is done to provide warmth to the eggs. After some days, the eggs break open and small babies birds come out. The mother bird brings food for the babies and feeds them. When they are little older, she also teaches them to fly. Soon, they learn to fly and leave the nest. The mother bird too abandons the nest. Now let's see the beaks of birds. Different birds have different types of beaks depending on the type of food it eats. Birds like parrots have curved beak to break open nuts. Their beaks also help them to climb on trees. A woodpecker has a strong and kaiser-shaped beak to make cavities in tree trunks. It also helps it to pull out insects from the trees. Peacocks, sparrows and pigeons have short, hard and horn-like beaks to crush seeds and grains. Eagles, vultures, owls and hawks have strong, sharp and hooked beaks. These birds eat small birds and animals like frogs, snakes, mice and chicks. They need such beaks to tear the flesh of other animals. A duck has broad and flat beak with tiny holes on the sides. The duck takes in water, insects and small plants. The water flows out of the holes and the insects and plants are left behind. A hoopoe has a long and slender beak which helps it to pull out insects from the ground. A swallow has a broad and short beak. It is sticky on the inside. Insects flying in the air get stuck on it. Now let's understand the feet and claws of birds. Different birds have different kinds of claws and feet depending on the kind of food it eats. It also depends on the kind of habitat it lives in. Birds like eagle and vulture are flesh-eating birds. They use their claws to catch small animals like rats, frogs and birds. They have strong and sharp claws called talons. Next is birds like cranes and herons are wading birds. They have long legs which help them to wade through muddy water. They have spread out toes which do not let them sink while wading. Next is sparrow, crows and manas are perching birds. They use their toes to perch or hold on to the branches of the trees. They have 3 toes in front and 1 at the back. Birds like woodpecker and parrot are climbing birds. They use their toes to climb trees and cling to branches. They have 2 toes which point upwards and 2 toes which point downwards. Ducks are swimming birds. They use their feet to swim in water. They have 3 toes in front and 1 toe at the back. The front toes have a web of skin between them. A duck is said to have webbed feet. Hens are scratching birds. They scratch the ground to find insect and grains. They have 3 toes in front and 1 toe at the back with sharp and hard claws. So students, you can see the different kinds of feet in different kinds of birds. I hope you all like this chapter. We will meet in next class. Till then, bye-bye.